Well, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are across the country or in Hawaii. Welcome to Fierce Friday. My name is Jody Parker. I am one of 6 council members of the Million Mom Movement, and I would love for my fellow council members to please type in the chat council so we all know who you are. And you'll see us introduced throughout this entire call. You'll get to hear from all of us. I am standing in today for our chair, Stephanie Don, who is not with us today because she's doing some much deserved self-care. I highly recommend it. I think I'm going to do some of that after this call today too. So briefly, if this is your first time on a Fierce Friday call, could you drop me a 1 in the comments so I know who I'm talking to? And also, if you are not a Purium brand partner, could you drop me a 2 in the comments, just in case, so I know if I need to explain anything that you may not know as we're speaking today. Not seeing any 1s or 2s, so you're all used to us. You've all been here, so I'm gonna relax a little now. Just kidding. All right, so very briefly, Fierce Friday started last January when we realized that we needed to take a bigger stand against all the glyphosate that is being sprayed on all our food, especially when we found out that the product that has the most parts per billion of glyphosate in it is Cheerios, and so many people use Cheerios as a first finger food for their children. We started a letter writing campaign, and that wasn't good enough, so we morphed into a petition campaign. So I'm going to pull one of my council members on, Naiva Flore from Kauai. If you can hop on and explain a little bit more about that petition and why it's so important, the mic is yours.
Awesome. Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for being on today for Fierce Friday. And I'm super excited to hear more about, staying blissful through the holidays with some awesome recipes. So stay tuned for that. And we pivoted back a little while back. I think it was in the summertime. We decided that as busy moms, we often don't have time to write a letter. It falls to the wayside, it goes to the back burner, and then it may never happen. The other thing that we fell upon was our responses from General Mills were very generic and not personal responses to us. And so we felt like we weren't really moving forward with that format. And so with the help of Rebecca Johns, we got together and her and I created a petition for our Million Mom Movement platform so that we can really simplify things for you. We find that often, I get petitions from friends. It's really easy. It's just one click. My email gets entered and I'm done. And I don't have to commit to writing a letter and sending it and getting responses and all of that. So we have been getting signatures on our petition for the past 6 months or so now. And we would love to invite you, if you haven't yet signed our petition, we will go ahead and drop the link in the comments and go ahead and sign that petition. But even better, take it to your friends and family and out there in the world and share with them why you are a part of the Million Mom Movement and what this means to you and your own family. Because honestly, people don't know what they don't know. 10 years ago, I didn't buy all organic food. I just didn't know better. I was just trying to feed my family, but it took those little steps to get to where I am today. And it took somebody sharing with me what they knew about the toxins that were in the food I was feeding my family. So please be that person and go out there and inspire and encourage your friends for better solutions. Anything that you can buy generically, generic brand, you can also find an organic version, in the health food stores and now in most conventional stores as well. So we just want to encourage you that way. I'm super excited to hear more from the rest of our council. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it back.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Naiva. Oh, sorry, Taz. I was going to do the MC thing.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna drop in here because I didn't start the call with the explanation of what is the Million Mom Movement. The mom in there can be considered movement of many. You do not have to be a mother in order to be part of our movement. The idea is we are looking for 1,000 people who care in 100 cities to teach 10 families how to live healthier in this world and to give them the tools to do that. And so this is what we would consider the activism arm of Purium, which is the superfood company that we are aligned with. And so all of these Fierce Friday calls now have morphed into, not only are we fighting against glyphosate, we are concerned with all areas of lifestyle that help you up level your health spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, etc. And so one of the ways that we are doing that is by helping people financially. And that leads me straight in to the scholarship that we here at the Million Mom Movement offer, so that families in need can get some of these superfoods, but more importantly, get a leg up and get their very own business with which to make themselves more financially healthy. And so Tass is going to explain to you today all about that scholarship and what you need to know.
Exactly. So we need tools, right? And this is a great way that Purium actually has a scholarship, okay? And this scholarship is for economic families in need all over North America and in Canada. And Purium actually offers $2,500 worth of superfoods, but not only superfoods. For me, this is the bonus. Purium actually gives the business. You get business training, you get business mentoring. So this changes lives on all levels. It changes families' lives, and you get to incorporate the superfoods over a period of 6 months. So right now, we've been offering 4 scholarships a month to 4 families in need. And business mentoring. So this is, and you need to have an upline who will sponsor you. If you're curious about this, go to the Million Mom Movement /info .info / scholarship recipient, right? Post it in the chat, and we will talk to you about this. You need an upline, and get on a call with your upline diamond, and they will see if this is something for you, right? Because we are helping families in need. Okay, to you, Carmela.
Thanks so much, Taz. I love the share of the scholarships. I love everything we've been doing so far. And I'm just going to get right into our topic. I believe that's what we're leading at this point in our call. And it's going to be Rebecca Johns and I. Really excited to be bringing this topic of turning winter blahs into winter bliss. So what does that mean for us as family members? There's so many things. I made a list of things to share, and it was an array of holistic things that I do for my own family. And if I'm sharing it, it's because I'm actually doing it and practicing it, which is why I want to reference it for you to go ahead and do it yourself. And I'll go through about half of my list, and then I'll take it over to Rebecca, where then she can share. And we're going to go a little bit popcorn back and forth, if that's okay, Rebecca.
Absolutely, Carmela. Hey, welcome everybody. Good to be with you all.
Awesome. So as we are leading into this holiday season, we're 16 days away from Christmas, 22 days away from New Year's Eve. I know the pressure's on as family members to support and to entertain and then to gift, right? So many amazing things that come with the season, but stress comes with the season too. How on earth are we as family members to just hold it down, to keep it together? So some things that I like to put into place are rituals. Rituals are things that in families we can pass down. They're things that our families will always remember as memories ongoing into their adulthood that they might take into their own family practice, which is what we want to foster, right? Holistic family lifestyle is truly about creating wonderful moments where when we look back at our childhood, we can say, oh, this is the photo of this holiday and this is what we did. Well, practice that I do in my own home is that between Christmas and New Year's, I do vision boarding with my children. And what I do is I gather specifically, intentionally, magazines that are all about family, that are all about nutrition, not families about, I don't know, anything else out there, right? Politics and all this other stuff. We don't want that in our house. We want to intentionally infuse the minds, these young minds, with positive imagery, and then have them with words choose maybe phrases that they want to put into their vision for the new year. I have a 7-year-old, I have a 10-year-old. It might not apply for maybe under 4 years old, but they could do pictures. When my son and I started this, actually it was just images. And I did get a book specifically, a magazine specifically for children's images. And that he went to town on. I would love to share with you in the Million Mom Movement official page some of our past vision boards where my kids over the years have just impressed me. So that's one ritual. Another one that's really important during these holidays, and I know you all are really busy. I know. I have my own entrepreneurial business with Purium Brand Partnership, which many of us here on the council, we're going full focused because our impact that we know we need to make in the world is based on our output, our education, about our lifestyle. So we have to always remember to have meals together and have them where we're in a round table, we're looking at one another. Communication is such a vital part of us being healthy. And, you know, I love Leonora sitting there because we're learning, right? And when we sit together in a round table, we create and facilitate that kind of relationship as we grow older. And we want our kids to be face to face, conversing over a great meal. Maybe we even talk about what it is that maybe we cooked it together. But we start with prayer. Whatever prayer is to your home, let it be praying over the food. Because again, we are what we eat. We are the vibration which we carry into our homes. And I end the night to wind down in prayer too. A lot of this is really important. Maybe it might seem basic, but I just wanted to remind us all because we are very busy parents and that it is something really important to end the day with gratitude. And we also want to impress the importance of sleep, again, with these holidays. There's so much going on in the house. We need to wind down the house, right? We need to make that an important thing because a part of health is your recovery. And if we don't have adequate sleep, if we can't model that for our children, how we can really intentionally put the importance of adequate sleep. And I mean, toddlers need 12 hours. Ages 3 to 6 need 10 to 12. Ages 7 to 12 need 10 to 11, and teens need 8 to 9. So just keeping that in mind. Another thing I wanted to pull up is that I use this handy dandy light therapy box. It's called Light Lux. It's a full spectrum. It's free of UV, but it really fights the common problems like winter blues. That's actually as it's advertised because there are sleep disorders. There's light deprivation in some of the areas of the country we are. I'm in the Northeast, so it gets very dark already at 5 p.m., 4 p.m. even starting. And it shifts your energy when you have proper amount of light. And now that we have kids back into virtual home, what I do is I put it right next to the kids' computer because if they're not right by a window source, they need adequate light because they're not able to focus if they don't get enough of that kind of energy. And neither are they able to sleep well. So I've been noticing these things. I've been shifting. So here are some tools to keep active. Anyone who knows me knows that I have a very extremely active family. We are bikers and hikers, and we go to often the gym, but now that it's closed, I'm giving you some of my little hacks. So I do have it's called Air in Fitbit wristwatch for the kids. So it tracks their sleep, their steps, their heart rate. And I really track it via computer app, and I'm able to show them because we get to monitor. Also with our health coaching practice, this is something that's a great practice. And I see Leonora's blue blockers. That is something I also have for my children. And they're really great for eye strain, also macular degeneration prevention. And long-term, it's just better over the hours, right before you sleep. If you have any kind of exposure to televisions or by devices, it's a really great thing. You can find blue blockers online. I also have apps. So these are ways I track my family because we're bikers. As soon as quarantine hit, I said, let's get out. If they're going to quarantine us in, I got to get out. And so I got this app. It's called Relive. It's for run, riding, and hiking. And it's awesome, guys. You get to actually create videos of your different destination points along, and then it'll show it in a map, the statistics of how far you went, so that you could track and track your training. And there's 3D videos of you with your family. And it's really cool. I really encourage you guys to check that out. There's another one called Strava that's a little bit better for statistics. If you're an active family, then check it out. Strava and Relive. It's great for monitoring workouts and really making it fun to be active and getting out in nature. So a lot of people, when I got out there on the trails, it was crowded, guys. There were so many people biking. There were so many kids on the trails. Even this cold, I see people in gloves, in hats and masks, because they know that this is the way we have to go against these masks where we're just not getting enough oxygen throughout our day. Another thing is I have a trampoline park membership and getting the kids bouncing around, sweating it out. It's been a lifesaver. Let me tell you, they get home. I have a membership. We go 3 times a week. And after 2-3 hours of going, they're bouncing and sweating. They've been drinking tons and tons of Cocoa Hydrate, Aloe Digest, the can't beat this before we get on. I give them aminos before they get in there. They don't want any of the crap that's actually in there because it's all full of glyphosate. So I say absolutely 0 snacks we're bringing them. And that's another thing that I do. Last night, I did a virtual sound healing session with my daughter. I do virtual sound healing and yoga sessions online. I have really great resources for this. The particular woman who does my sound healing, she trained in Nepal with a guru on a mountain, and he's a very reputable, it's just a beautiful session where you can drop in for deeper sleep and you quiet the monkey mind. If you have some kids that are just not knowing how to be still, sound therapy is really powerful. It's really big in the wellness industry at this time because we are our vibration. And if we need to reconfigure our chakra alignments, our kids too, sound is an incredible way. My daughter just dropped right in. And I'm going to move on to Rebecca. And then I'd love to hear your tips and tools of how to shift this blah into bliss. And then I'll move into food, my food focus after you. Take it away.
Okay, great. Thank you, sister. Hey, everybody, Rebecca Johns. I'm a diamond with Purium and a mom in Southeast Michigan, Flint, Michigan, to be exact. It is definitely winter blah-ish in our area right now. And so I would love to share some of the lifestyle choices that I've made that help me and my family. And, as much as we are in quarantine, many of us, as much as we are having to socially distance and maybe not have the ordinary lifestyles we're using, we're depending a lot on social media and these electronic devices to keep us connected. And that's a blessing that we have them, because back when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, that just meant you didn't get to play with your friends. It was quiet all summer if nobody was around. There's also a pitfall. These devices do emit an energy. There is a frequency that is negative to them. And habitually, they can really drive us to isolate even further, where we're sitting with people in the same room, but we're all looking down at a device. And so one of the things that I recommend, if you really want to shake some blues and create some bliss, is take a break from social media. Put the devices down. I use it for business, so it is an important part of my life. I use it to socialize, but there are times of every day that there's no device time where we be together and we get to interact. We get to look at each other, talk to each other, create memories with each other, do fun things to take pictures, literally create memories. And taking a break from the social media and devices gives you room to do other things. And I really love being a creator in my life. I love creating my experience of life and what my children get to experience on purpose. So some of the things that I've made note of are really simple things that we do every day, but that I find during the stress of the seasonal change of winters. And let's admit it, the holiday season really is a season where statistically there are more suicides, there are more divorces, separations of family, and a lot of that is just people not feeling okay. So when we're not on our devices, we do things that allow us to express ourselves with joy. Some of that is creativity, playing music, dancing in the house, getting our paint supplies out and creating our paint projects. Some of us like to use our oil crayons on canvas, then get our fingers in there and play. Some of us are sculptors and sketchers, but we sit together around a big table and we're just creative together and enjoying what each of us brings as flair, if you will. And this doesn't just foster a good feeling within oneself. Yes, Dad says slime, for sure. I'm a mom of boys. They're all about some slime. The gooier, the better. But this is also fostering relationship and communication. And where there's relationship and communication, you bring communion, you bring oneness. And that doesn't just feel good in your mind. There are chemicals that are released that go along with that. It is truly a function of well-being to be with people and touch them and hug them. There's a whole chemistry profile that becomes who you are. And it creates a space of peace, a space of bliss. But we also have some tools that are also, as Carmela was referring to, that are holistic and spiritual in nature. So breathing sounds simple. We're all doing it right now, right? But breathing intentionally. We have times during the day where we might stop, but especially our bedtime regimen, where we take a few minutes to breathe, use our essential oils. I'm all about some oils. So whether you apply it topically or put it in a diffuser, let it fill the room as your kids sleep or in your home. Oils work in the olfactory nerves that go right to the brain and central nervous system. So when you're smelling aroma, right, just like if you smell mom's cooking, it triggers something in the brain. And so depending on the oils you use, I typically like to use lavender for relaxation. I also love frankincense, but additionally the citrus, the lemons, the limes, the grapefruits and oranges, the tangerines, those are real joy. Those bring uplifting emotions. Pearlie says, I'm obsessed with lavender. I know, me too, believe me. I have one that's called Adaptive with doTERRA, and that one is a calming blend. So like stress of the holidays, stress of producing for school, stress of producing for work, whatever line of oils you get, look for those calming blends and calming oils to use. And be mindful to understand which ones can be applied, which ones can be adjusted, which ones should be diffused. But along with that, we use prayer and meditation and affirmation, really simple affirmations. All is well within me. All is well within my world. And breathe. All is well within me. All is well within my children. All is well within my family. Some of you may remember a few months back, I shared my bedtime affirmation. After I do oils and rub feet, and we do our prayer and we do our breath work, I use this affirmation. Anything that is not mine, I return to sender with consciousness and love. And we breathe. Anything of mine which remains, I give to the Creator in exchange for wisdom, love, strength, and peace beyond all understanding. And we breathe. And children are far more sensitive than even we adults are. And you know that we're sensitive, you know that we carry, and that at some point when it's released, there's that exhale of relief. Your children will absolutely love going to bed when their experience is that it's peaceful, that it's a let go of the day. The second half of that affirmation was, anything of mine which remains, I give to the Creator in exchange for wisdom, love, strength, and peace beyond all understanding. And listen, do what you want with those words, right? Be the creator. Be the one that claims into yourself and into your life and into the lives of your children and your home what's going to bless you, what's going to amplify your greatness, and enjoy it. Let your kids recommend the affirmation. What it is it that they're, as they let go, what is it that they will invoke? You'd be amazed at what our kids will come up with in the space of that permission to experience and create. So those are some of the lifestyle steps that we take. And I do have a list of my favorite superfoods that go along with that, but I'm going to turn it back over to Carmela so that she can talk about her yummies first. And then I'll take it to me before we open up to the field and let you guys ask us questions.
I really enjoyed those prayers, and I dropped right in when you said them. I can feel it in the faces of the group too. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to move slightly to the right or to your left, to whichever direction you're actually facing me. And I'm going to move into practices with the food focus. So last week we had an incredible list of wonderful Purium products and how we use them in recipes from Jody Parker and Taz Ferreira. And if you have not watched that, please, by all means, go onto our YouTube channel and check it out. I wanted to start out how I created a ritual for my son to have a chore. And this is his chore with me. And it is our compartmental morning pills from Purium. And so this is what he does every morning. Actually, he does it in the nighttime. So that in the morning, we all take it. And what is it that we do? Well, there's this wonderful new pack that's the Core 4 Epigenius. So that is something I get regularly because Epigenius is something he absolutely loves. And I'm actually going to share a recipe that I use with it. But he drinks it every morning. My daughter takes half a power shake every morning. And then I give them 3 Super Amino 23, a good handful, I don't even really measure it, of the chlorella tablets because it's so important to get their first grounded amount of protein, but then also the chlorella, which helps to build healthy blood and to also bind any kind of heavy metals, but really cleanse and have clean blood for their growth. And I'll never forget David Sandoval talking about how important it was for the Japanese culture, how they had the highest growth rate because of their consumption of chlorella in their diets, because in children's diets, they had so much seaweed. So for me, it triggered me because I said, I would love to grow tall children. And so I do maybe 15 to 30 for each. And then I'll do about 5 spirulina capsules because it is nature's multivitamin. So please don't go to the route of a multivitamin that's really just isolated nutrients that don't absorb as well. These are whole food. This is a whole food version where you'll get the array of even omega fatty acids. You'll get vitamins, minerals, really important for them to start their day with before they go to school. So really, they just really have a shake and these pills for us to start off their day. And then my daughter's the same, but my husband and I will do 5 aminos. We'll do the BioRegen. We'll do the Joint Flex, hair, skin, and nails. We'll do the Revivitol, the 2 Biomedic each, and then Advanced Probiotic. If you have a family who has some intolerance to gluten, I highly recommend you take the Advanced Probiotic. I do add that in for all 4 of us. Yeah, and I take actually more Biomedic than the others because I have an underlying immune sensitivity. So increase that when necessary. So that's something we do. And now I'm going to move into some recipes, some of the things that I think are really important because we have a sweet tooth during these holidays. We want to avoid them going into the snacks that are sugary. And here are some of mine. I'm going to start with the first one that I've actually included in the Million Mom Movement recipe section. And that's, it's actually a CBD infused Epigenius chocolate mousse with avocado. I make this a lot, and it's honestly super simple, like literally 5 minutes. It's 4 avocados, 4 large avocados. And I have something unique. You may not always be able to find it, but it's organic creamed coconut, unsweetened. But this makes it thick. It makes it whipped. So I tried it with many other ways, but this is the organic unsweetened. And it's kind of hard. You know, it's actually in a non-metal aluminum package, which I really love, because then I've been trying to move away from anything metal, because after I had my ionic foot bath and I saw a lot of aluminum come out of me, I was very alarmed. So I took out all the things in my family where we can instead purchase things in boxes, not in cans. So that's really important if you're looking to get away from, you know, cans. And then Himalayan salt. I use Madagascar organic vanilla. And then I, of course, use CBD from our company. And when you infuse CBD into products like this, it's, you know, you're getting a lot of good fats from the avocado, but then you're going to be using the epigenous. What's in the epigenous? You've got 8 grams of protein. You've got a full serving of biometic there. And then you have servings of fruits and vegetables, 13 servings and 7 servings of fruit. So that's a lot of nutrients in a dessert, and it's delicious. And it really has the consistency that you want of a mousse. So the kids just love it. And the saltiness with the sweet, you don't need any maple syrup. You don't need any other kind of sweetener. Next, I'm going to move into my ice cream. So I make MVP vanilla ice cream with chia seeds. So how I do this, and guys, I don't know if you guys have been experiencing the silicone fun, but it really compacts my whole pantry. I'm like, ooh, all these things they're all like this compact. It's like those, you know, when you pack and then vacuum seal it, it kind of reminds me of that. So the MVP vanilla, you take 2 scoops with 2 frozen bananas, 2 medium frozen bananas, 1.5 cups of coconut milk. I tried it many different ways. This is the way that works with the consistency that's right. And then I put 3/4 cups of shredded coconut flakes. And then I put 3/4 macadamia nuts, and then I use Jody Parker's tool, which is my Vitamix, which is such a handy tool. My goodness, I use this for everything: soups, ice cream. My mousse was in here. Everything went in here. And it's so easy to clean. And then so I put the chia seeds. So I actually soaked the chia seeds, so it gives it a little bit more of the digestive support. But when you put in the MVP sport, I mean, that's 32 grams of plant-based protein, along with adaptogenic mushrooms, cordyceps. You're getting so much energy, and then it's delicious. I mean, look at that. It's ice cream, and this is frozen bananas. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm gonna eat all of this when I'm done. Okay, and then I have my coconut spirulina chia cherry balls with shredded coconut flakes. There's no short way for saying this. It's just exactly what's in there. But aside from that, I added organic cashews. Here's the coconut spirulina. As I mentioned before, spirulina is nature's multivitamin. So if you can get as much of the spirulina into your family as possible in a sweet way, go for it. And what we do, because we love the anthocyanins, because my family has tendency towards arthritis, right? We want to get as much of the apothecary, but then I actually bought organic dried cherries, and that helps to bind it and create that sweetness. So I took out actually honey and maple syrup, and I added the organic cherries, and that really helps bind with the apothecary. So I put that together, and it really, look at this ball. It's pretty hard. I mean, I didn't really have to do much. It was so simple. My kids helped me do this. I put 8 dates, a 1/2 cup dried cherries, 2 tablespoons apothecary, 2 tablespoons chia seeds, ionic elements. So mineralization is lacking in our diets often. And so we want, what is ionic elements about? It's about conductivity. It's about helping everything move through, and nothing hardened masses. Really, it's excellent for cystic people, fibroids, if you think you have tumors. I mean, just in general, if you're dehydrated or you have yin deficiencies, this is great, especially for kids that run really hot. You need to get ionic elements into their bodies because it really it hydrates internally really well. And one thing I didn't do that I'm going to do here is I drizzle on my ice cream the apothecary. And I mean, look at that. Look how delicious this is. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's great. Getting all these superfoods without the guilt is key. And another little trick is I found these cute little shot glasses. They're mugs that you can cheers with, right? So I always wanted cheers, but then I never had a really good grip. And I found a little one with handles. So here's the green spectrum and here's the apothecaries. I know we're all laughing because we all have shot glasses, but then we find ways for the kids, you know, the little fingers to not drop it. How many times at home has your kids dropped shot glasses? So this was my little trick in the morning, especially when they're half awake, to get that in. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Rebecca.
That was awesome, Carmela. We should have had you on last week with Taz and Jody with the foodathon that you just did. Holy moly, Batwoman. All right, well, I don't have all the recipes. I'm just going to tell you that right now, but I will be copying all of those. Let me tell you, I can't say enough about the way that we can be creative with these superfoods. So if you're not somebody who's familiar or facile with taking these superfoods and being creative with them, if all you think is that you put them in here and shake them and drink them and then that's all you can do, please, by all means, get into the Million Mom official group page and then get over to the recipes for a Purium lifestyle page. We have almost 20,000 people in that group, but we have a really brilliant and creative community. So I'm going to talk about my yummy combos in just a minute, but let me talk about the favorites in our house. I can't say enough about Biome Medic. Many of you know that Biome Medic is the solution to remove glyphosate from the microbiome. Glyphosate can't be washed off or cooked off. It's in you. It becomes part of the fabric and fiber of your bodies. And so Biome Medic is great for that. But it also restores the microbiome, the culture of the gut. And that's really important because, listen, if you want to beat the winter blahs, you want to know that more than 70% of your mood hormones come from the gut. So you want a better mood, get into that gut, do some gut repair. And so that might mean definitely Biome Medic, but it might mean Aloe Digest. It might mean our aloe vera concentrate. Carmela did a nod over to our advanced probiotics. We also have digestive enzymes. So poke around in the product line and learn to see what it is. If you need some counsel and you need a wellness assessment, talk to the person that invited you to this call. Get familiar with what we can do to support your gut being healthier. The other thing is, first of all, Carm, your regimen for your kids starting your day is almost identical to my kids' start of the day regimen. I love that. It just works. But our nighttime regimen is just as important. And we do apothecary. Apothecary with the ionic elements. Again, the vast spectrum of minerals. Also, it helps with absorption. And so the combination of apothecary and the ionic elements, it also is natural magnesium. So it's a relaxation agent. And we love to warm up our apothecary. If you make some water like you're going to make tea, but instead add your apothecary, oh my word, it is the best yummy thing that is warm and comforting to sip on at night. But part of how you wind down has a lot to do with how you wind up and making sure that you are vibrant and energized throughout the day. You know, just like nature, the sun goes up, the sun goes down. There are awake hours to be up and then are sleep hours to come down. And two of my favorites are the Super Amino 23. Those are vegan protein tablets. They synthesize in 23 minutes and taking your body to an anabolic state. That's that state of, even if you're sedentary, lean, clean muscle being formed, fat burning, converting to muscle. And when fat burns, you're eliminating toxins because toxins love to live in fat, warm, cozy cells. So when we're burning fat, we're saying adios to the toxins. And then be energetic. Be Energetic is an amazing blend that is adrenal support, and just like Apothecary supports the balance of cortisol, the stress hormone, so does Be Energetic for adrenaline. You know, so often our bodies go into stress, and there are hormones and chemicals that release to support us through those stressful moments. It's part of our natural, supernatural design. It's a gift, except it's supposed to shut off. We're supposed to be done with that stressful moment, and then those chemicals go back to their baseline. And in this world of being inundated and stress kind of being a part of our lifestyles, it's good to have the Be Energetic to support the adrenals and adrenaline production function, and the Apothecary there for cortisol. And then I can't say enough about our CBD oil. Cannabidiol supports the endocannabinoid system in the brain. This is a governing part of the brain that communicates with different portals of energy throughout the body to make sure they're connecting well and sending signals throughout the entire system of systems. And sometimes those signals get sticky. Sometimes the station of the endocannabinoid system in the brain gets sticky, and it makes us sluggish. It slows us down. It slows down our processor, if you will. So the cleaner we can process and send signals throughout the system, the better we're a performing machine. And the CBD oil is a great form of that care. A couple things I want to share with you for my sweet treats. Cocoa mint spirulina and our tropic oil make the greatest homemade peppermint patties. Cocoa mint spirulina and our coconut oil, which we call tropic oil. Great. You mix it up, get the consistency you want, put it on parchment paper, stick it in the freezer. Amaze balls. Amaze candies, actually. Carmela had the Amaze balls. The other thing is popsicles. Listen, popsicles. Our food is live, organic, and vegan. You can freeze it. Epigenius, great for popsicles. Power Shake, great for popsicles. You want to bake? Use MVP. MVP is processed in such a way that if you're doing baking and you're making cookies or brownies or crepes, as a certain fabulous French woman I know over there named Taz makes, you can bake, okay? So also get a little bit educated to understand which of our foods are live and organic and raw so that you're not compromising the qualities, and which ones of them are totally great to expose to temperature. More than anything this holiday season, I would say, please play, please have fun, please enjoy your experience this holiday season. I know it's not the ordinary simply because of COVID. It might not be the ordinary for you because you are dealing with loss or grief. Maybe there's a family member that's no longer part of the family for whatever reason. Let yourself have the space to be emotional. Let yourself be, and choose what your battles are. Choose the priorities. Choose what you're going to step out of your comfort zone to deal with, and then choose where you just want to create comfort. And with that, I would like us to open it to you, our listeners, to ask questions that you may have that we on the council can field. So who would like to either put a question in chat or take yourself off the microphone and ask a question? We've got a couple minutes.
I'll do it. Hi,
Hi,
this is Adam.
what's up, Adam?
Nice to see you all. It's
Thanks,
been
buddy.
very, very beautiful and very instrumental. The warm fuzzies come into play with all these wonderful, really, really, really good, juicy, yummy ideas for recipes and creative concepts for inner relativity, for inner engineering and all that. Yeah. So appreciate that. It's so beautiful. That's what I got. Is so good. I wish I had like a snippet of exactly what the thing is so you can print it off with the recipe. If there's some out there on the Million Mom link, that would be super cool.
All right, cool. We'll do our best to get our snippets over to the Million Mom group page. We often take our recipes and put them in our blog and our newsletter. And this link will be available for you to replay too, so you can watch it again later and kind of take it more in. But thank you, Adam. I appreciate that.
Definitely. I'm about to do some more greens.
All right, good. Have a rocking weekend, buddy.
Thank you. I'm on vacation.
Nice.
Went coast to coast in 2 weeks.
I love it. Safe travels to you. Thanks for sharing.
Beach time.
Who else? Do you have a question or a comment that you'd like to share? Go ahead and take yourself off mute.
Hello.
Hey, Linda Feely.
I have a question. You guys talk about using MVP that you can bake with, or in other recipes. Is it the MVP for the adults or the MVP kids?
We have specifically been talking about the MVP for kids when we've been sharing our recipes. And typically, as Taz can attest, it doesn't take much to add to that to make a recipe out of it. Taz likes to use applesauce with her MVP powder. I like to use applesauce or mashed up bananas, depending on what kind of flavor profile you're trying to go for. But yes, what we've referred to when you hear us is MVP Kids, which if y'all haven't checked out the new family pack, that's got a bunch of good things that you can make yummies out of.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Who else?
Hello, I have a question. Sorry, I can't turn on my camera right now, but I was just wondering, can I use the ionic elements in my 2-year-old shakes? He's 2, he just turned 2, and he's only about like 24 pounds.
Carmela, do you want to answer that?
I think that is not something that for a 2-year-old we would shy away from. I think it's beneficial. I think it's also just about his weight. I mean, for an adult size, 1 serving would be droppers. So for him, maybe even just half a dropper would be very effective.
Like 1 drop?
Like half a dropper full, because for an adult size, 1/4 of the adult dose.
And the benefits were if he has like sweats at night, or?
That's a good one. So that's internal heat. And usually that's like, so speaking in Chinese medicine terms, just internal heat. When the heart goes yin, it's hard to go yin, so it sweats out. So it does need conductivity. Actually, might be mineral deficiencies, but of course, go into a little bit more profiling. But I think conductivity, like if you look at the light test, it's one of the best ways that I was able to explain ionic element benefits. But imagine that coconut water would be the natural counterpart. And so the hydration effect of all the minerals being driven into the coconut, and how many minerals from the ocean are driven into the natural coconut, that water is so hydrating. It's more hydrating than the minerals in Gatorade. So by all means do Gatorade or ionic elements in fruit shakes to be the replacement of that.
Okay, thanks, Carmela.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Let me just add something to the mineral part. It's very high in magnesium. If your child gets loose stools, he's getting too much. That's how you know.
Good point.
Awesome, thank you.
Can I ask a question? So for baking with the MVP Kids, like what amount, 'cause I like to, tout the vitamin D and the protein. I'd like to know what amount we're losing when we bake it. So in case someone asks me.
The beauty of the MVP, Allison, right? The beauty of the MVP is that you can bake it without significant compromise. Whereas if you were to take the epigeneous, which is raw, and bake that, then you're definitely breaking down too much of the benefit, and you're compromising the quality. Jody, do you want to say anything more about that before I comment on something else in the chat? No. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah, feel confident baking. And, 350 degrees for, 11 to 13, 14 minutes, depending on your oven, should be plenty. And you'll notice it like melts and browns and forms and gets little crispy edges. It's so good. Our stuff is so good.
Yeah, I've made them. They're
Guess
they're
what I'll be
amazing.
doing tonight? I want to comment on the question about ALS. I want to say this first of all. We are not doctors. We cannot diagnose. We cannot cure. What we do is we feed the body. We level you up nutritionally. And when you level up nutritionally, especially with this type of nutrition that's been formulated to be extremely bioavailable, what does that mean? It means it doesn't need your whole digestive process of organs doing their thing to reap the benefits. Frankly, you can take Power Shake and swish it around in your mouth and get benefits to your teeth and your gums, and your digestive system starts there. So we level you up nutritionally, and when you level up nutritionally, you level up cellularly. And when you level up cellularly, you're affecting blood, skin, connective tissue, nerves, ligaments, muscles, functionality of all of the systems that operate your brain, your central nervous system, neuromuscular communication. So with someone who's experiencing ALS, they've had a severe compromise to their system. They are going to want a lot of nutrition. Anybody dealing, any of us need nutrition. But when you are at an extreme deficit such that your system of systems is breaking down, we want to immerse you. As a holistic health practitioner, I do work with people who have diagnoses like ALS, Parkinson's, cancer, diabetes, and I can't say enough about our ultimate lifestyle transformation. If you really want to give someone a deep immersion of the superfoods to get as much of an impact as possible, as quickly as possible, the ultimate lifestyle transformation is the way to go. And that person may do like the core 4 and then the 10-day and then the core 4 again in that rounded 30-day, or they may just flatline across that whole month, do 2 series of the aminos, 2 series of the Power Shake, and a meal and a snack, and then the other things that are in that pack. But CBD oil, beneficial. Tropic oil, beneficial. Ionic elements, beneficial. Aloe vera concentrate, beneficial. So there is a lot to consider when you're taking on someone who's in extreme deficit. But I would say the entry portal when someone is in really a crisis is the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And I'll leave it at that because I could go on ad nauseum. And I need to turn it over to Jody because we got 4 minutes left to the hour. I'm like, this would probably be a good time to give it back to, here, Jody, get 17 minutes back in the last 4 minutes. You got it, go.
You guys, you're just getting a picture of what it's like when the 6 of us get on a council call and we're like, and this, and squirrel. So we have a lot of fun together. There's all this knowledge between all of us and we want to share it all with you. However, you only committed an hour of your life to us. So come back next week and you can share more with us and interact with us on social media. So Million Mom Movement is our business page. We put the events up on that every week. So if you want to know what the Million Mom Movement is doing, go check the events on that page. Naeva Flory does a great job of keeping that updated. Invite all the people. We like the more people. It's called the Million Mom Movement. So let's get all the people there. We also have a private group, Million Mom Movement Official. And that's just a little more private. So that's already people who are involved with the movement. And you can come in and you can interact with us. We have a website, millionmommovement.info. That's where you'll find your scholarship information. That's where we post our blog. That is where you will find a lot of these recipes. They're not all up there because poor Rachel. A shout out to Rachel. Wave, Rachel. Say hi. She doesn't like to be put on the spot. She's our lady. She does it all. She keeps us organized. She keeps that website updated. She helps us stay on top of the scholarship applications. She does not get enough credit. So please, in the chat, tell Rachel how amazing she is because she needs to know that we see her and that she's that amazing. Finally, One of the things we've talked about is we want you to go out there and we want you to spread this knowledge with other people, right? We all start somewhere on this journey, and as we know better, we can do better. And I know that the biggest people in my life who have taught me were my kids and my fellow moms. So go be that for somebody else. And when you do that, we would love it if you hashtagged it, I am the Million Mom Movement. We'd really love it if you hashtagged your PHP Live 2020s with that when you're talking about things that help people up level, specifically moms. And why do we target moms? Because most of us do the grocery shopping. Okay, shout out to my husband who does the grocery shopping, but usually it's mom. So we want to get that hashtag moving. We want to get you getting videos. We want to be able to share that with people so people can see that we are a resource for the community. And finally, on Instagram, we are at Million Mom Movement. When you're doing your stories, if you put the little at Million Mom Movement in your story, then Naeva can share it to the Million Mom Movement stories and help get your message out there. We all have our own unique skills, our own unique knowledge, and our own unique way of sharing that with the world. And all hands on deck, you guys. We need it as we go into 2021 and the world is in the chaos that it is in. We need to be the leaders that bring solutions. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being a part of this movement. Thank you for helping the people in your lives, and thank you for enriching our lives by being a part of this with us. We appreciate you. And with that, I end the call. Thank you so much.